Hello, Throppers. We have another pretty amazing interview here from the International Real Estate Conference and Homeowners Expo. And I am sitting with Dion Nugent, and she is the Director of Business Development with JPS, the Jamaica Public Services here in Jamaica. And Ms. Nugent, you have some exciting things to tell us about. But before we get into that, I would like you to introduce yourself briefly to the audience.
Well, hi. It's absolutely great to be here. Really an exciting time at this conference. So I'm, as you said, I'm the Director of Business Development at JPS, which is really unusual for an electric utility. But in our space, the energy sector is really changing. So as a company, we are also in that space of change and innovation and really embracing where we are going as a industry and as a country. So what are we into? We are into the exciting stuff of renewables. You know, how do we expand our renewable footprint on the island? We're in electric vehicle charging as well. We believe strongly in the e-mobility expansion in Jamaica because we have a responsibility as Jamaicans, all of us, to reduce our own carbon footprint. And we're looking at those solutions and those options that can really help us to leverage the kind of assets that we have traditionally. How can we bring more value? So that's where I come in. And you wouldn't be really typically saying real estate, but here I am because we're saying we need to really begin to relook, review, reconnect in new ways into the sectors that we have served traditionally and how we can improve that going forward.
And like I said, we have some exciting things that we're about to get into, but specifically with this conference, why was it important that JPS be a sponsor for it?
So we heard about this conference and we immediately said we had to be here. We have traditional connections into the developer community. Traditional way of just requiring connection of service to small and large developments. And we said to ourselves, you know, this is not just how we want to engage with the community. We want to understand where they're going, what is their vision, and certainly we want to embrace their own thought process about how can they innovate, how can they bring more sustainable practices into the development that we are looking ahead on, and how we as the energy provider can play a part in that. So we saw a vision on that side, and we believe it's important that we also begin to understand it better and begin to also try to weave our own programs to support that agenda.
Okay, and I'd like to get into some of those programs, and let's start from the real estate perspective. And we were talking off camera a little while ago about the partnerships that you like to have with specifically developers to really get them to start thinking green before that first shovel goes into the ground. And it seems like there's a dual benefit there. And I would like you to just speak to that a little bit.
So we recognize that there's a wide community, a growing community, a very large community who understands that we cannot continue as we are. Jamaica is an island state, and we need to begin to put in systems, mechanism, processes to ensure that we have a sustainable tomorrow. So as JPS, we have been looking at this for over a decade now. How can we be a part of renewables, both large scale and small scale? And how can we also transition our own energy delivered to customers in new and fresh ways that can encourage and ensure that we can connect into a better tomorrow. So as a company, we're really seeking to create those programs that can connect us into specific entities, specific groups, that we can really have practical solutions. So we have been doing that in the traditional space, and we have been doing that in the new space. Now, I'm not sure I totally answered your question.
Right. So what would that partnership look like? Or like in terms of, I'm a new developer, maybe I'm doing, maybe 100-unit development or something of that nature. Where, I guess, at what point would you like to see JPS become part of that conversation?
Well, we want to be there at the start. So this is one of the things that we have been encouraging. And we do have our key account community who are very connected into our large developers. We want to create those introductions early. So even while you're in that conceptual stage, we are asking for us to be in those conversations. So that's one of the things that we have been working at aggressively. We have actually created those kind of communities and workshops where we bring them in, we invite those community members, the developers, to come and have those conversations even before the development started. So you can know who you're talking to. You can know the systems that are required. And in that space, we're also trying to introduce those new sustainable solutions like electric vehicles. How does this fit into the traditional Jamaican home going forward? Some solutions are not here in Jamaica yet, and you have to begin a process of training and informing.
Could you give us an example of a solution?
So in that, I can tell you, I have actually had these workshops and these presentations with developers and those associations. And at first, the conversation is like, okay, what is she talking about? Because it's not there. Do you know that's where we were a few decades ago with air conditioning, right? There was a time in Jamaica where not every house had an AC, and you really had to go through a process for a person to become knowledgeable that this is something that you can have, this is what it looks like, and incorporate it into your designs. So we are taking that journey, first of all, in terms of just informing, bringing ourselves into the space, like this, so we can have the conversation. So it's not foreign, and for persons to become more comfortable with taking those tangible steps to say, okay, I will do it. It's safe, it's reliable, it's convenient, and I'm supporting the climate agenda. So we create those discussions, we go to those presentations. We have also tried as much as possible to when, if we don't catch you at the conceptual stage, we visit the sites and we have the conversations there. How can we help you? We don't think you're doing it right. So what we are truly trying to do as a community right now in JPS is create stronger relationships with those developers and those persons in the building community, so that we can actually get a sort of better outcome at the end of the day that works better as a win-win situation.
And is there like a specific solution that you'd like to see more of, or you'd like developers to be aware of, that we advise, like, hey, in your plans, we would love, and it could be solar or something even more novel than that.
Right. So for us, today, our major push is electric vehicles and EV chargers in the home.
Okay.
Our homes don't have it today. Not a lot of homes. It's a new area in Jamaica. And so currently that's our focus. In the past, we embraced also solar PV. We were a part of that. We think that has just taken off now in Jamaica. But what we need to focus on, okay, let's take that next step into e-mobility. We want to see every house, every company, every public space having facilities for EV charging. Because if they don't have the chargers, persons are not interested in buying the vehicles. And that is where the bang for the buck comes, when you begin to talk about the impact on reducing emissions from transportation on island. So, this is our focus today. We're really pushing hard on it. That's one of the reasons we wanted to have the conversations here at IREC. We want developers to input it in their development designs.
So do you see the future of Jamaica being where most of the vehicles are electric, or all?
We don't see, we're going to have a significant percentage of vehicles being electric. I don't think it will be 100%, but my view is that 50% or more is real, and it is coming.
In what time frame would you think?
So basically, the government right now is looking at about 30% of our electric vehicles by 2030. Very aggressive target.
Where are we at now?
I will answer that question.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So it's really going to be a step change. And what we're saying, you have to be a lot more aggressive about it.
And this is full electric, not hybrid.
No, so we're really into full electric, because that is where the bang for the buck is. And we're going to be taking a journey here. We're going to be taking a journey in terms of getting to it. But I expect that we're going to get to that inflection point where, just like cell phones, it's going to take off. People are going to say, wait, this really makes sense. The fact that I can not go to the pump, plug in at home, charge, and it's cheaper. In Jamaica, most people cry about the electric bill, but I tell you, if you can pay $10,000 a month, I'm just throwing out a number, for your gas bill in 1 month, and you're traveling to and from work and around the island, versus what you normally pay, which I think is a lot more than that, we're saying it makes economic sense for you as well. So, you get many benefits from that. So, we're really encouraging that particular point today. That's what we are talking about.
And I think it's like twofold too. I don't know the price of electric vehicles here, like in comparison to like the average car, but like, I feel there would need to be some sort of an incentive for people to say, I'm going to buy an electric vehicle over another. As far as I know, we don't have a Tesla dealership here either.
We do, but you'll be surprised how many people have Teslas.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't seen it myself, but I heard.
They're on the roads.
So, and then, like you said, I think would need to be a high level of education on the cost savings of having an electric charger in your home. Because again, the mindset is like, no way,
Jose. Right. So we're taking that journey with the customer. So I have to take the beat up first.
Right. Yes.
And I tell you, good beat up too. Until I do the calculations. So let's think about it. And then they say, the bulb starts to burn or gets brighter, and say, okay, and we want them to take that tangible step. And people have been doing it. I'm telling you, at least in the corporate area, and I think also here in the Montego Bay area, it's starting to see the vehicles. And you get excited. Wait, it's beginning to make sense. We want to see it, in like maybe in the tourist sector, in the buses. We want, tourists to experience that, hey, we are there with the buses. And most of the vehicles that would be in that sector are those that will be supporting the reduction of emissions on the island.
And I don't know if you could answer this question, but like, where are we as a country in terms of having an efficient amount of charging stations where you can safely drive anywhere you want and know that you have? So
what we have, we have a charge and go brand, and what we have said, Jamaica is not a large island. I have driven my company electric vehicle from Kingston to Mobay and back. You can do it, right? Because we're not that big. But we recognize that you have to create that framework around the island, right? So we have that network. So what the point I'm making is that we have started with that framework of chargers across. There's Negril, there is Morant Bay, we have on the north, and we're filling that in so persons feel comfortable. So, and we do have the fast chargers, right? As well as the normal level 2 chargers that you would have in your home. And for those who don't know, level 3 chargers are the more rapid chargers. They charge within half an hour to 40 minutes. Just like your cell phone. And the level 2 chargers are a little slower. It means that you're stopping somewhere, you're doing some stuff. It takes a little longer to charge. But hey, a charge is going on that can get you going. Maybe a quick top up, it works for you.
Okay. And outside of let's move outside of the money aspect and money savings with these vehicles. Can you talk? I don't know a lot about cars, period.
That's
whether
fine.
Electric or otherwise.
It's interesting. I don't know a lot about cars either.
So, but I'm just trying to think that of like comparability, right? Of me buying, let's say like a Honda, and then also like compared to the comfort and drive and the technology in these electric vehicles, would they be, to your knowledge and your experience, or would they be comparable to?
So we have
regulars?
tested that, right? We have tested, what does it feel like with a traditional internal combustion engine vehicle, ICE, versus electric vehicle, right? And I can tell you, see, for we women, we are very, very, very careful about the vehicles that we drive. So the experience for me as a lady driver, right, has been positive, meaning that I've been able to drive in this vehicle. It's just like driving a normal vehicle. So there's no difference really for me. It's a little zippier, right, when you press the accelerator, but you move faster. So, just a driving experience is no different, right? In terms of charging itself, because, there's a gas pump versus the charging station. Lifting up that plug and plugging it in. Okay, maybe the first time I was like, what? You don't want to mash it up, but once you do it once or twice, hey, it's nothing. And I have other ladies in my department who, were very, very, sensitive about it. I know I can't get them away from the electric vehicle and charging. And we have also had to educate in terms of when you're in the public space, using that public charger, because you use an app, a little different from what we're used to in Jamaica, to initiate and stop the charge. But once people become comfortable. And I think that the experience is a positive one. No, the cost, you said you didn't want to touch the cost.
No, let's go.
But I wanted to just touch that as well, because the persons that we have connected with, so tell me something, would you change it back? They're like, no way. I just love the idea that I can charge at home. And the cost, is a lot less than what I would traditionally pay. They feel more in control, apparently, than having to go to the pump. Your pump is at your home. You can have
Right,
a charger,
that's true.
right? So you feel
Yeah.
more control. You have more convenience, and the road stops, right? As long as you have the chargers available, it's a no-brainer. You know, you just plan around it. So my view is that the mommy who has to drop her baby girl or son to school and back and so on, hey, you know, she just jumps in the car, goes drop there, you know, there's no noise, it's quiet because she needs it quiet, right? And then she goes home and she plugs in, and it's very small cost.
Yeah.
It does make sense. And you know, that is the journey we really try to get people to understand. This experience is a good one, and it's not too bad on the pocket either. We're working on the car costs though, because that
Right.
the electric vehicles themselves are a little pricier, but as battery prices come down, we expect the vehicles to come down. But I tell you, it's not stopping some Jamaicans from buying it. You know, we love the thing.
Yes. No, that sounds beautiful the way you described it,
Yes.
and a different type of lifestyle elevated, and then also having the cost savings integrated
Right.
into it.
And we want that into the home. We want, you know, it's not just a daddy thing, the male thing. We want mommy to feel good, and we want the children to begin to experience this, that this is the way of the future. So the more we can bring that out into the public space, we think that it can only make Jamaica look good going forward.
No, I think that's great. You know, to be moving in that direction in like in a strong manner, like really going green, not just words, but actually
No.
doing it, right?
Yes.
And so I guess the messaging here more than anything else is twofold, I would say. And I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but like it's really with the developers, it's like it's so important to get these charging stations specifically integrated into development, and like even in homes to have them, personalized homes, to have them there as well, and get those electric
Get
vehicles.
it going. And so, you know, that is our message. And we're saying it's convenient. We know it's safe because we want to make sure it is safe for users. And we know that the sector is working through any past issues and it's safe. We have, as a utility, been very strong on that. And we believe also it creates an opportunity for resilience. I don't, you know, if there's an issue by battery, the technology is that my battery could probably charge my home in case of an emergency, you know, vehicle to grid technologies. So we know that is also coming. We need to position ourselves to take advantage of that. Resilience is the name of the game, convenience, of course, and cost effectiveness.
Yes. And I think too, the consumers are going to have to help push this as well.
Yes.
Like going to have to demand this.
We want them to push hard.
Yes.
And we want the developers to be ahead of the game. And that's why we're here and we're excited to participate. You know, we're not always the most favorite person on the block, but we're saying that, you know, we believe that we are a strong partner in the space and help us to push that message and make it happen for a better Jamaica.
Amazing. And where can people find out more information about this?
So for JPS, we do have a specific on our website, right? We do have it on EV. We have an email address, right? evsupport@jpsco.com if you need more information. So, and clearly with our call center as well, which is very well known, you know, 188 call JPS, you can get through to us there as well. So, we want to expand, you know, the connections. We want it to be personal as well, you know. So we are here to talk.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
stopping by,
too.
Ms. Nugent. I appreciate it. I learned a lot today. I didn't know about this program and how adamant you
Yes.
guys
So
were
check
about
out my
this.
charging station down at Iron Shore.